What's going on, boys? Good morning. Welcome back to another video. So last night in the Discord, of course, I do my best to alert every single trade that I take. I ended up taking my first trade of the day, and we're going to do a little recap later. But the first trade of the day, I ended up taking like a 20-point loss on. And then I waited, I sat back, I found another entry for longs because I had a long bias all day. Took that, alerted that, caught 80 points. A lot of people made some bread. Join the Discord if you haven't already. And then now it's about midnight, okay? So this is very late into the day. I'm sitting at my computer finishing up a video, and I saw another entry for longs, and I was like, you know what? Let's just take it. And at this point, I'm up around $1,000 in my live account. Not doing anything crazy. I'm up like 5K on Top Step, so that was good. I saw this trade. I was just like, all right, you know what? Let's just take it on my live account. It had a 10-point SL. We're just going to set it, and I was just going to watch it. And over the next like hour, because I was up around till 1 in the morning, price was just kind of chopping. It wasn't doing anything. And I was like, you know what? I was up a little bit. I was like, should I close this out or should I just set my stop loss and go to bed? I was like, I'll just set my stop loss, go to bed, and maybe tomorrow we wake up, we're up like 100 points, whatever. I woke up. I opened up my Robinhood. I swear to you guys, the look on my face, you will not believe this. And you guys know I show all my shit. I'm legit. You guys see right there on the day, I am up $10,000. I was using one mini. To be up that much on one mini, that is almost 500 points. Holy crap, guys. That was the most you guys, I wish I was like recording my awakening, because bro, I literally look at that shit. I'm like I ended up looking into it. I think Trump announced something with tariffs being kind of cooling down. I don't know what it was, some bullshit. Holy crap. Let's get into that first trade we took, and we'll look at the other ones as well, just to give you guys kind of a recap on how I took with the first trade that caught me 80 points. That was actually a legit setup. It was really good, so I want to tap you guys into this. Please subscribe, please like the video, please let me know what you guys want to see next. Love you guys, man. I am hype right now, man. Man, life is so much better when you just making money. All right, boys, let's address the elephant in the room. This was the trade we took. This is the money we made. You guys see $10,000 up on the day. Holy crap, yo. Oh my gosh. Hold on, wait. All right. Okay, so we are up $10,000 today, which is crazy to say. We're actually up 15 because we did make some money on Toss as well. But on the live account, really all I care about. Using the fundeds just to kind of make some money with, taking that profit out. I really want to keep the money in my Robinhood, you know, for growth and just trying to build this up to 100K. But once we get to halfway there, but once we get to the point where I can do that, I'll do that. But taking the same trades on the fund is just to, you know, take those payouts to get that money withdrawn so I can actually make money while I'm still growing this account. Excuse me. Looking at this trade, so this trade was nothing crazy. So we went into the day with the long bias. So, and we'll talk about that. I want to talk about the trade that I actually took, that actually was planned out, strategic, hit TP, alerted in Discord. This was just the insanity play, and I'm keeping the chart kind of hidden from what actually happened. But okay, so you guys see right here, jumped in longs on this red candle close right here. You guys see this candle right here with the nice bottom wick. Reason why, just simple, we had this low, we had a lot of bottom wicks being created, we broke right underneath that, bought all the way back up, showing me buyers are still here, just jumped in, gave it a good shot for longs, targeting this high for 35 points. That's it. And that's all we did, that's all we tried to do, and boom. So once we got in right there, we set our stop loss up. We almost got stopped out right here. You see, bought right back up, and you guys can see exactly what I was talking about. Remember I said it was just kind of chopping, we were kind of stuck. So I was like, you know what, I'll just set my stop loss. I wasn't going to set my TP up because you know, if you guys don't know, sometimes if you set your TP, you set your stop loss up. If one gets hit, the other one will stay open, and that's how I've lost a lot of money in the past, was just forgetting about setting an order up and then, you know, maybe hitting it and then going the wrong direction. So just set my stop up and was just like, you know, all right, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm already up 1,000 on the day. I have nothing really to chase anymore. You know, it'll just be kind of like a send. You know, we're just playing a profit. Might as well, right? The trend is bullish. We've been moving up all day. Hopefully, we can get another exponential move up. Maybe catch 100 points, boys. Went to bed right on here, up 14 points. I'm still going. Yo, and I believe we closed up around 940. We got pretty close to high of day actually caught as well. And there was nothing really behind when I decided to close it out, just because I was up so much, I did not care. I literally once I saw how much it was up, I clicked the gray button so fast, bro. But this was a 46 RR trade right here. Insane. So we caught around 450 points on this. And obviously we had another 80 down here. So we're up over 500 points in the day. That was such such an insane trade, man. So happy to say that I caught that. There's so many times where you guys see stuff like this, I'm sure, where you miss big moves, or maybe you got stopped out and then it went completely like this. You didn't get to see it. Finally, I caught one, bro. I'm so overdue for that. Such an amazing trade, all just off of being able to say, hey, man, I'm playing with some profits. I'm willing to risk giving us a potential shot, just a shot at something. And like I said, I was already up, so this is not like I'm risking any sort of money that is really important to me. I was just really risking $200 on this trade, and we ended up getting $10,000 out of it, which is just insane, just insane. But let's look at this trade. This is the trade that was actually important that you could take away from this. Just wanted to show you guys this because this again is a setup. This is not just kind of like this where we kind of just prayed. Oops, sorry, I just fucked that up on OBS. But this was a legit entry. This is something that I really liked, and I really like this setup. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to delete all this really quickly just so you guys can see this. So boom, market opens right here at 6 o'clock. I was actually fishing during this time. I saw, oh my gosh, we're up like 200 points. Holy crap. Like, let's just try and see a continuation up. We obviously got that. You see we made this really nice topic right here, which could be an indication for sells, but guess what? This is where bias comes into play, and this is where bias comes in extremely important because you need to have a clear bias on the day. Just because we see sells right here doesn't mean you should take sells. I came in today with a bullish bias, so now that we see this really nice top wick that could signify sells, and you guys see it actually did indicate sells, what we did at that point going forward was we just waited until we saw pretty much the same thing, but to the buy side. We wanted to wait for something to correlate for buys, and this is exactly what we got right on this candle. And I hope you guys can see right here, this is on the 5-minute time frame. We actually rejected off of opening the opening 6 o'clock candle. I don't really need to draw these zones out as much as I do anymore. I just like to do them for you guys so you guys can see. Once we saw that right there, I didn't get into the trade just yet, but I waited for us to come back down in this area to buy up again, and that's exactly what we got right there. That is when I got into the trade. So what you guys are seeing right here is a clear just rejection off of the 6 o'clock low, and we just targeted this high, but I ended up just letting it run for 80, and I hit it, luckily. So that was an amazing trade. Super simple too, because this is exactly what I was just saying. When you see stuff like this going against your bias, it should not tell you to pivot off of it or change your bias. You should be looking just for a waiting to strike until you see something like this, but actually towards your bias. And that's exactly what we caught right there. Super, super solid entry. Never was really down on this trade at all. You could have got in here. You could have got in here. That's just where my intuition kind of came into play. I just wanted to wait a little bit, see if there were buyers here. You guys know price action is a little bit slower during the afternoon or at night, so you can kind of wait and kind of get really precise with your entries. That's why I was really just kind of waiting. I wasn't in a rush, just playing patient, waiting for buys to come into play. Waited for them to actually give us an opportunity to take long. Super solid entry right here. And of course, if we would have stayed in this, we would have been up. We never saw this low ever again, so that was good. But we targeted this high, as you should. When you're in a trade like this, you want to target this high for 67. We ended up getting out for 80. A bunch of people in the Discord took that, made a bunch of money, and just simple reading price action, being able to look at a chart, wait for buyers to come in, wait for bias, your bias to play out, then striking and not chasing it, not trying to, kind of push yourself in one direction more than the other. You're just kind of waiting, you're being patient, you're waiting for things to kind of settle down, give yourself a good shot at your bias. That's exactly what we saw right here, and that's exactly what we took. And you guys see, I would have never been able to kick back on this ever again. But yeah, this was insane, bro. Probably the best trade I've ever taken in my entire life. And I've been saying that a lot recently, but this is the best trade I've ever taken in my life. Not from a technical standpoint or, a strategy standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, making $10,000 on one mini, I've never seen anybody else do that before, which is just wow. I'm so shocked. But if you guys are looking at some sort of entry model for this is where things get a little bit interesting. So kind of like I was saying before, so this is all about putting yourself in a position, calculating your risk, managing your risk, and giving yourself a shot at this luck. This is something I've been talking about for a while now. It's like luck is involved with this, man. There is luck involved with trading. There is luck involved with going outside and not getting struck by lightning, to a sense, So you have to kind of involve luck while also being able to say your strategy is extremely confident. And that's the difference, is you have to say your strategy is yours. You have to say your strategy is you are willing to ride or die for that shit so you can actually see some results. I don't think there's anything else other than that you really desperately need to have. Like I've said so many times, there's no right way to trade. It is all about being able to calculate everything before it happens, give yourself a clear mind, and premeditate before this trade happened how much I'm going to make, how much I'm going to lose. At that point, when price was just chopping and I was just waiting to take the trade and I was still liking the side, my bias was still long. I was super bullish. I could have just closed that trade out, but I realized I was already up on the day. It would have only risked me really $200. I thought there was an opportunity there, and that's where the difference really comes in between kind of gambling and deciding if I'm going to hold this forever, if I'm just going to close this out here. Is there is opportunity there. I'm willing to risk that money to potentially make some more, and I never knew it would be something like this, but a very clear example of this was exactly what happened. We waited, we saw an opportunity, we took a good trade, and we were just we were already up on the day. We decided to give ourselves a little bit of a open risk, and that risk is completely managed by our 10-point stop loss, extremely tight stop loss for what would have happened. I would have been okay to end up over 35 points in the day because that was the original target. We targeted this previous high, but you guys see, sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky, man, and that's kind of how the game goes. But guess what? If I would have got stopped out of this, I wouldn't have been unlucky. I wouldn't have been anything else but just 10 points down in the day. So that's where we kind of leave it for us to be lucky or completely fine. That's kind of where the difference is. It's not we're getting lucky, getting unlucky, getting blowing an account, whatever. It's literally get lucky or nothing happens at all. That's where the difference comes in between most people and me. Is I'm making it so I'm either getting lucky and I'm making money, or I'm literally just moving on. There is no time for me to lose. There's no opportunity for me to lose. This is straight profit play. This is straight kind of free risks in a way. So we did so. We got paid, and I didn't even take a trade after that. I'm so impressed with this. I'm so happy for this. This was such an insane, wow. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm so happy. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys are doing good. Man, we fucking did it, boys. Holy crap.